W-T-L.
It's time!
W-T-L.
I think we got a show. Oh, yeah, we got a show.
W-T-L.
And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. That stands for Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it. We're back.
And you're like blinding me over there. You're
Yeah.
wearing your Laker gold. Do they call that gold,
You
yellow?
have to. In-season tournament, LeBron's back. He's 39 years old this season. He's back, and he's putting it on these guys.
I think when you get to 35, that's when they start treating you like a grandpa and say 35 years young. So LeBron's 39 years young.
Yep.
Yeah, get it right. So, and we will get into that.
Yeah.
But we got to start with Thursday night football, don't we?
We have to every week.
And this was the game I think folks had circled, and they've been wanting this one
Everybody
really
wanted
bad.
this one.
Oh boy,
Yep.
Oh man, Amazon Prime. We've been joking about it. It seems like every week, they just get stuck.
I think this game might even be worse than the Panthers versus the Bears. At least there was a little intrigue there with the two quarterbacks.
Yeah,
and the pick traded between the two. This one is just god awful.
We're talking about the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
The 2-10 Patriots are heading up to Pittsburgh to take on the 7-5 Steelers. Steelers are a 6-point favorite. Not much movement in this line since it's opened.
Yeah.
Total set at 30 points. What is this, Iowa, Nebraska?
Yeah, this is terrible. The reason for this, Andy, obviously backup quarterbacks on each side of the ball.
Yeah.
Patriots have been struggling with Mac Jones. Bailey Zappe's going to get the call in this one.
Yep.
On the opposite side, Kenny Pickett went down with an injury. Everybody's sad to see that because, like you said, the Steelers do have a pretty good season going at 7-5, bringing in old Mitch Trubisky, the old bear, to take up the helm here. So I don't want to back the Patriots here, Andy, and the horrible offense as much as the next guy, but laying a touchdown with the Steelers and Mitch Trubisky, I don't think is an option I can do.
Mitch Trubisky has been a starter,
yeah.
And he's got some good experience, and I think this might actually play into Pittsburgh's hands, and I think New England's going to want to play the same game. Ball control, shorten the game.
Yeah.
I think it's sorry and sad to say, a lot of people are looking at this under. It's unbelievable.
No doubt. I think people are looking at this under, Andy. But I mean, I think with the Patriots, you still at least get their defense. The Patriots are 8th in total defense, 3rd against the run, and 15th in scoring defense. I think that's kind of a hard thing to put in into Mitch Trubisky on his first start of the year. One thing that I will say, Andy, one prop that I love for this game is over-under rushing yards with Mitch Trubisky. He is going to be on the run after this defensive line gets after him. Only 13.5 yards. I believe he gets this early in this game. Rushing for those third down, trying to get that first down. 13.5 yards, I believe, is a cakewalk for Mitch. He is a very mobile quarterback, and I believe this happens very early. So get that locked in as low as you can at 13.5 right now. I believe this is a slam dunk.
Yeah, that's a surprising line put out there because that was his best play in Chicago for years.
For sure.
3rd and 10, he's on a scramble and he gets 13 yards, and like you said, in one play there. I like Pittsburgh, though. I think they're going to cover this at home. They still have something to play for, and I like their quarterback more than Zappy.
Zappy. No, I don't like anything in this game.
New England is not only 0-5 straight up their last 5 games, they're 0-5 against the spread their last 5 games, and I don't think it's getting better in Pittsburgh. A lot of things don't get better for you in Pittsburgh in the NFL.
No, I agree, Andy. I think I probably will lay it with the Steelers. I was trying to go the other way with you. One thing that you do want to monitor here, Andy, is Najee Harris is questionable, so it probably looks like the Jalen Warren show. So if you're looking at some Jalen Warren props, maybe check on Najee Harris's questionable status before you put those bets in, because if you can get Jalen Warren low on those prop stats, if he's the starter, he'll go way over that stuff. So be looking out for that, but I think I have to lay it with the Steelers as well.
I think so too, and I'm going to stay away from that total. It's just way too low.
It is.
They're NFL teams, right? They should be able to each score a touchdown or 2.
Yeah,
and if they do that, they get the over.
They get the over, Andy. But what you're saying is it's just 2 terrible offenses against 2 mediocre defenses,
and they're both going to want to shorten the game.
No doubt.
Pittsburgh and New England even more so.
Lock of the week, Mitch Trubisky over 13.5 yards.
I think that's the play here as well, the player prop.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
All right, should we move on to Sunday?
Let's move to a fun game, Andy.
This really is a fun game, and there's going to be a lot of eyeballs on it. We're talking about a Sunday kickoff on CBS, that 3:25 window. Buffalo's heading on over to Arrowhead, where the Kansas City Chiefs are sitting at 8-4, and they're kind of licking their wounds, right?
Yeah.
After dropping one to Green Bay. Hats off to all the cheeseheads.
Yeah.
They're back. They're back. Love looked pretty darn good.
He did.
Kansas City didn't play bad. I was looking at the stat sheet earlier today. I'm like, man, that that's not bad production.
No, definitely not bad production. Obviously, a couple, The final minute of the game was just straight chaos, Andy, featuring an overtime fumble recovery, an ejection, an unnecessary roughness penalty that probably should have been called, and then a no-call controversial pass interference at the end of it. So just so much stuff was stacked up there in that final minute. It was fun to see the Cheeseheads take that at home, obviously. Yeah. But I think the Chiefs are a little bit of on a revenge tour after this one. Yeah. So I believe they get going fast in this one. I like the Chiefs in this one. You could make a case either way, like you were alluding to there, Andy.
Well, Buffalo, I'm seeing a lot of +2. Yeah. Buffalo's a 2-point dog here on the road. I'm also seeing a lot of 1.5s. That's where I'm seeing most of this action. I think this is crazy.
Yeah.
Arrowhead alone should be worth 3.
It should be at least 3.5.
We're saying Buffalo and Kansas City's the same thing here?
Yeah.
This is ridiculous.
Well, it's kind of ridiculous, but we were saying the same thing about the 49ers going into the Eagles last week, that they should be getting at least 3.5 for playing at the link. Yeah. But that's just not the way it goes when two juggernauts like these two teams in the AFC come back.
Whoa. Buffalo's 6-6, or what are they? They're 6-6.
They still have the players to put up points. And the Chiefs, as good as their defense is, has had trouble stopping Mr. Josh Allen in the past. So in Buffalo coming off an extra week of preparation here, the Bills offense needs to show up as well. They've hit 25 or fewer points in the last 6 of their last 8 games, Andy. So they really need to get that going if they want to stick with this Kansas City Chiefs team. So I think I go with the Chiefs here. It's pretty much a money line bet for you, Chiefs with the 2 points.
Yeah, I believe Chiefs are going to cover here. I can't believe they're not getting more action at home like this. Yeah. This total has been gaining a lot of steam here. It's actually been bet down to 48.5. I still think. Oh, boy. I mean, you're talking about the struggling defenses. Yeah. Josh Allen, he does get up for these type of games.
For sure.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. He puts up some numbers. Yeah. When he's playing somebody like Mahomes or Herbert, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes over.
Yeah, I think the over is the thing as well, Andy. But the thing you just got to realize here is, just like I was saying about the Buffalo Bills, the result in the books that KC has scored fewer than 20 points in 3 of its last 5 games. So that's the reason it's so
true.
Low.
Yeah.
So they need a big offensive push here. I think both these teams, this is going to be, a rocket ship game just like that AFC championship that we always think about. So I really believe that this will go over, and I believe the Chiefs have the upper hand at Arrowhead.
The Chiefs have gone under 6 of their last 8 games, but this isn't just another game like we've kind of been talking to. Buffalo, on the other hand, this is what really matters to me. They're only one out of the last 8 games, they've only covered once.
Yeah. No doubt.
They have just been underachievers. It feels like we've just been, getting after them every week.
Yeah.
But hey,
it's tough.
It's the
NFL.
The numbers are there, man. Yep. I'm just reading these stats.
We're just reading it off, man.
And I'm just watching the games on Sunday like everybody else, right?
For sure.
All right, should we look at another game on Sunday?
Let's do it. Let's stay in the AFC West.
Yes, and a lot of our listeners, they're Broncos fans, and I think they're enjoying a season better than maybe what they predicted.
For sure.
The Broncos are 6-6. Yes, they dropped their last game. However, they were on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Before that. And they're taking on, you could say, the struggling Los Angeles Chargers, sitting at 5-7. This should be a very competitive game. It's going to be out in L.A., where the Chargers are a 3-point favorite.
Yeah, Andy, the Broncos broke my heart last week. They had it. They came down to the last thing. Yeah. Russ kind of choked there at the end, but, I think they just simply ran out of luck after being so lucky for as long as they were on the winning streak, like you were just saying.
The turnover differential was insane. Their defense was creating turnovers numbers. That margin is not sustainable.
Exactly. But the Chargers just didn't look good against the Patriots, and we just talked about the Patriots, one of the worst struggling teams in the NFL. I don't necessarily trust them to have more success with Keenan Allen banged up and Austin Eckler not being at all effective up to this point.
That?
They just don't seem to want to use him, or he's just not as effective as he used to be. So I think give me the Broncos with a free field goal here, Andy. I like the Broncos +3,
and it's not that big of a home field advantage. It might have been in San Diego, but you throw it in LA now. There's better things to do. I mean, you're wearing your Lakers gear over there. NBA
There's
started.
There's going to be a good Denver show out there as well. So
right.
There's going to be a lot of orange in the stadium there in LA. So no, I give me Denver +3. I do not trust the Chargers right now. They might not end up winning this game, but it might be late and it might be on a field goal. So I like rolling the dice with the Denver Broncos.
Catching enough points there to make you okay. Well, Denver is 4 out of 2 out of the last 6 ATS.
Yep.
That might be enough to sway me that way. What about this total though? It actually has been being bet up since it's open. Now it's up to 44.
Yeah, Andy. I think it was probably a little low to start with, just because Denver has kind of found its way to scoring the ball here, and then the Chargers, as bad as a rap that we can give them, they still can score the football.
Oh, sure.
It just seems like late game, they can't get it going late game, and then their defense gives up timely touchdowns as well. So I do believe the over is the bet here.
Okay, the over, I can buy that. And you're exactly spot on with the Chargers. They just figure out a way to lose the game,
sure.
And it's like we're talking about the Nebraska Huskers,
it is.
Isn't it? I mean, that's just I feel bad for those guys out there, those people out there that are both Charger fans and Husker fans. Are like, what did I do to deserve this?
We know a couple of them, a couple friends of the show.
Oh, man, I feel bad. All right, well, let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. World class in every glass. We also got to make mention, we got to get the word out there. For our 100th episode, believe it or not, we are about to embark on our 100th episode.
100.
We're going to do it live. We're going big. We're going live. And we're going to be at the Herdat Sports Bar in La Vista, Nebraska. Beautiful facility. Nice new sports bar there. Over there by Cabela's.
Heck yeah.
We're going to go on air at 6 p.m. sharp. We're going to have some guests with us. We're going to have food specials, drink specials, the whole 9 yards. We're going to be streaming on our YouTube channel. We might be streaming on our Twitter handle as well. So we're going to be getting out there and we're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody is welcome to attend. Tickets are starting out, what, $100?
Yeah. Maybe the betting slips are,
It is Monday night, but if we can get some folks out there, you won't be disappointed. We're going to have a lot of fun, and it really is good food over there at the Herdat Sports Bar, and we'd love to hear from you, see you there, and maybe we'll give you a shout-out and get you on the air.
For sure. That would be a lot of fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait for it. It's going to be sweet.
Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the Line? Nebraska's first and only sports betting show. I'm your host, Andy Class, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the parlay pounder.
You got it.
And it's one of those festive, holiday season, fun time of year, right? Where a lot of things are going on.
Yeah.
And something new's going on with the NBA.
For sure.
And I think you're going to have to help me out and some of our listeners.
Yeah.
It's some kind of a play-in tournament, an in-season tournament. We're going to talk about the Pacers taking on the Milwaukee Bucks.
Yeah.
Pelicans taking on the Lakers. On a neutral court, all in Las Vegas, right?
All in Las Vegas. This is called what's being called the in-season tournament for the NBA Cup, is what it's called.
The NBA Cup, like a soccer thing?
Yes.
That's what I hear it's getting compared to a lot.
Yes. And, why is it called the NBA Cup and why is it called just the in-season tournament? I think they called it that just because it's going to be easy enough to change when they want to, change it to the David Stern Cup or the LeBron James Trophy or something like that.
There we go.
But the biggest thing everybody's asking is why are they doing this, and does it have any impact on the playoffs or the regular season or anything like that?
Right.
And the answer is no. Not beyond the games being regular season games and counting the standings. Besides that, it has no nothing to do with the playoffs in the coming summer. What do the players get for winning this? This is why they are getting up for these games. Yeah. The players on the winning team each get $500,000.
Yeah.
While the runner-up gets $200,000, the losing players of the semifinals will get $100,000 each, and the losing players of the quarterfinals will get $50,000 each. So all of those have been paid out already. Now these 4 teams are looking for that $500,000.
And that's just a straight check from the NBA to each player.
Exactly.
And I did hear a little bit about this, and one of the issues, or the comparison to some soccer tournaments, where nobody cares about those in-season tournaments. The main players don't play the whole game or don't even suit up because they're not concerned about this.
The money.
Yeah, well, there's not that much money on the line in these soccer tournaments, some of them. Yeah. And it's all about winning the thing at the end. So they want everybody to be healthy. They don't care about this in-season tournament.
For sure.
The same could be said for this NBA thing. However, these players are motivated by that straight cash, homie.
Straight cash. $500,000 each.
Right. And it's just a check. Here you go. And something that's been advantageous for bettors, overs are smashing.
No doubt
These
about it.
These players are laying it out there. They want, like you said, they want that $500,000. So they're not asking, all of a sudden players aren't hurt. Load management went to the wayside.
Yeah, exactly. LeBron is on my fantasy team, and he's been questionable for all these games. But for some reason, he's still pouring in 31, 10, and 10. So I believe that they're all ready to go. And for a lot of these lesser players, this is a huge paycheck for them. Like the Lakers, Austin Reeves, this is a huge part of his paycheck would be this $500,000. So these superstars are really putting it on the line for these lesser players on the team to get this check. So I think it's a really fun thing to do. I'm not on board with how the courts look because those are kind of a little bit of a backlash. They're the same colors as the jerseys, so they get lost on TV and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't like that. But no, having this in Vegas, this is going to be a big staple of the NBA, I believe, going forward.
And it is working. Ratings are good enough. Fans are tuned in. And the main thing is the players.
The superstars are playing.
The superstars. So it's actually better than most regular season games or series. Should we get into the 4 final games then?
Let's do the 2 games here, the semifinals.
All right. Later on today, the Pacers are taking on the Bucks. A 4:00 tip-off on ESPN. I'm looking at the Pacers here.
Yeah.
What the heck? Where were they at?
They're a 4.5-point dog to the Milwaukee Bucks.
You got that total at 254.5.
Yeah, Andy. Woo-hoo! So ESPN, they're loving this thing as well because they can just jump on, the NBA's back and promote Giannis and LeBron and AD and all that kind of stuff. They came out with a ranking system, and guess who the number 1 player in the in-season tournament is?
Your boy?
Not my boy. It's Giannis.
Oh.
Giannis is the best player in this tournament, is what has been voted on by the people, and you can see why, Andy. He is averaging 30 points a game. He's shooting 61% from the field.
Yeah.
And they added this other guy this year that is just as big a superstar as Giannis in Dame time, Damian Lillard.
Yeah, just a little bit of an addition there. And I was so shocked at how people are like, "Oh, this will never work." And it's like they haven't even played a minute together yet.
Exactly.
And we're already shipping it in.
Yeah.
Indiana, however, they have smacked that over 14 out of the last 16 games. And here we are talking, well, each team's going to score, 125 points.
Yeah.
They probably will. For those reasons we mentioned earlier.
For
500,000 reasons why each player is trying to fill up the cup.
I agree, Andy. But if I'm just looking at this game and looking what's on the line for this game, I do believe that the Milwaukee Bucks have a very big advantage here, especially with Giannis putting in that many points and then having that number 2 on his side with Dame Dollar as well. So
I'm just saying the over.
Yeah,
I like the over.
I get it. And the Bucks are averaging 122 points a game right now, and that's going to be upped even more. But I'm just saying I do believe that Giannis probably puts on his defensive hat a little bit on this one. So I might have to look at the under here, Andy, just because it's so high, 254.5.
I know, it's insane.
So crazy.
Yeah,
I think I would have to go with the under just because I think the Milwaukee Bucks have a chance at blowing these guys out, especially with so much on the line.
I'm just looking at recent history and how
I gotcha.
all these teams are just filling it up, like I mentioned.
No, you are totally correct. You just got to look at the Milwaukee Bucks' last 2 games. They just beat the Knicks 146 to 122.
Wow.
Game before that, the Atlanta Hawks 132 to 121. So it would both hit in both of those games. Like you're saying, I just think as a semifinal game, as you can see that money almost in your bank account,
right.
I think it's going to tighten up just a little bit and probably go under that 254.
Just tighten up a little bit. You're thinking
I agree.
All right, should we move on to primetime?
Let's go with the boys.
The team that basically invented primetime called Showtime.
Showtime.
The Pelicans got to take on the LA Lakers, and this is all at T-Mobile Arena in glitzy Las Vegas. I think you couldn't have a better match for the Lakers here.
You couldn't.
And it's going to be on TNT, so I think kind of the best team out there as far as producing a basketball show, putting it on.
Yeah.
Love all those guys in their commentary.
Yeah.
And what do you got here? I think
the Lakers are a slight edge here.
1.5 points.
1.5 points.
Yeah.
In that total is way down with 229.5.
We're saying way down. 230 points.
Well, that's 254 points, Andy. It's absolutely crazy. But you know that list that I mentioned with the top 25 players in this in-season tournament, number 2 and 3 both play for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Anthony Davis at number 2, averaging 23 points, 12.6 rebounds a game, and 3 assists as well. Yep. Right behind him, you got LeBron James, the King, 24 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists this year. They're just gonna show out in this game.
Yep.
But what you got to look at on the other side is you got a couple surging superstars in Zion Williamson and Brandon Ingram on the list at 6 and 7 there. Zion putting in 23 points a game, as well as Brandon Ingram as well, just at 23 points. So there's some superstars in this game, and this is exactly what the NBA wants to see, kind of old school versus new school superstars here.
Williamson, too. Like, he's been plagued by injuries, but for some reason, with the $500,000 on line, he's okay.
He's going to play.
He's averaging 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists a game. That's a pretty good stat line. And then Anthony Davis, that guy, like, he'll just sit out an entire season.
Yep, he
or
will.
2.
Yeah.
But somehow he's averaging a double-double here in this tournament. So, of course the ratings are up. Of course fans love watching this. Their superstars are playing, and they're playing at a superstar level.
Exactly.
So is this with a 229.5? You got the hook. Are you thinking over?
I'm thinking over in this one, Andy. I really do, just because we got a lot of scores in this game.
Oh, yeah.
LeBron's going to
superstars.
LeBron's going to pull her in 30. You believe AD's probably going to get there as well.
Yeah,
those young superstars are going to go to the rack and go to the rack often. So I really do like the over here. I am going to back the Lakers here, surprisingly, I know, as I'm decked out in purple and gold. But they just had a really, really good game against the Phoenix Suns, probably the second best team in the NBA, I would say, with Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Took them to the wire, beat them by 3 points. I really like the way the Lakers are trending this year, and I really believe they're going to be too much with AD against this Pelicans team.
Yeah, and folks are saying a couple of articles that I read that NBA analysts are saying, man, LeBron James is walking with a little bit of a pep in his step right now.
For sure.
He is energized. He's going to be ready to go. He's taking this thing way more serious than anybody thought. They thought, that he'd just kind of...
Well, he's worth $1 billion. What's $500,000 to him?
Right.
Yeah.
But look at the stage.
Yeah,
I think the stage is what's more attractive to him, and if he can get another trophy, another little MVP trophy for the case, he's gonna get after it.
No, I do agree, Andy. I think he's pep in the step. I believe it's going to be a really good matchup between him and Giannis in this finals for this NBA Cup.
With all these superstars, I didn't ask you beforehand, but I got to think you might be eyeballing a player prop or two.
I will be. They come out really late on those things, Andy.
Yeah.
I believe if LeBron's anywhere close to 50 for points, rebounds, assists, I will go over on that. I believe he's going to play big, and that Giannis player prop of 29 points, I believe, is going to be pretty good. I think he's getting over 30 in this game against the Pacers, so I just don't believe you're going to be able to stop these superstars in these key matchup games. So give me those two. I love the superstars in these two games.
Yeah, and even guys, at Giannis level, and even LeBron, hey, $500,000 is still $500,000.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it.
They're going to get after it. So the motivation is there, and that's what's really making this so much fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. I love that you get to be excited about NBA basketball other than just in the summer,
right?
Because nobody really cares about it until about Christmas.
Yeah.
And then they watch those games, and then it's off till summer.
Right.
So I really like something as cool as this being early in the year, especially in the lull between college football and the bowl game. So I really like it as it sits right now.
And I think it's doing as good or better than what Commissioner Adam Silver could have hoped for.
For sure.
Especially in year one.
Love it. Love it.
Let's take a minute to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Stock and Rod Company, an outdoor lifestyle brand for those seeking adventure. Whether it's hunting, fishing, hiking, they got you covered. Visit stockandrod.com to get your wild game on. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? I'm your host, Andy Class, and joined by
Jabron.
The Parlay Pounder.
Yes, sir.
All right, now we were talking some basketball, we're talking some football.
Yeah.
We're going to do that again, right?
We're going to split this one up.
We're going to talk a little football and a little basketball here.
Yes, all college stuff.
And it's probably, it's one of the games that everyone kind of feels good about and makes time to watch.
For sure.
It's a good thing. I love the pageantry. I love it all. I love what the game stands for. And, of course, we're talking about Army taking on the midshipmen of Navy. Both teams are sitting at 5-6, but that really doesn't matter because it's going to be a packed house. This game's going to be on CBS. It's a 2:00 kickoff, and they always get spectacular ratings. I love to see that. It's just one of those games that it feels like it does bring an entire nation together, a football fandom nation together.
Yeah, this is a bucket list trip for me, Andy, to go to one of these games. It would be so awesome. Like you said, I just love watching it every year. It's one of those that you check off after the season, after the Huskers get done playing. This is one of the games that you look forward to watching, especially on Saturday. So I can't wait for this game. I believe Army is a 2.5-point favorite coming into this game. So the Navy midshipmen are getting some points here. Do you know what that over-under is, Andy?
It's pretty low, 27.5.
27.5. Now,
and I saw Army catching a half point, so they're actually 3-point, a field goal favorite on a lot of books out there now.
Wow, Andy!
Yeah.
Wow!
I know what you're thinking.
you can often on this game, you can throw everything out from the season out of the window. It's just these two teams. These two teams know each other too well. The play style is very similar. Defense and run the ball. Army is the 10th best rushing offense in the country. Navy is right behind them at 14. So what do we know this,
And that's a 7-yard difference, averaging 209 yards to 202 yards a game.
So crazy, Andy, that both of these guys put over 200 yards on the ground each time. What we do know is what I was going to say is the underdog has outright won 4 of the last 7 in this matchup between Army and Navy. Also, the underdog is 6-2-1 against the spread in the last 9 meetings. So you have to look at that team that's getting points in my mind.
And you were talking about the similarities and how they both like to run the ball. They both have the exact same winning record as far as wins and losses. What struck me was how they mirror one another pretty much on everything, and it's at an eerie pace. Number of plays per game. They each average 61 plays per game.
Oh, man.
Yards per play. They each average 5 yards per play.
Wow.
It's like they're playing each other here. Passing yards, Army edges them a little bit with 100 compared to 93 yards passing. It's like the exact same team.
They're the same team. They're the exact same team.
It's just wild. With this game being at Gillette Stadium, do you think that gives a little bit of an advantage to Navy?
I do believe that, Andy, and I just that's what I'm kind of hanging my hat on here. It seems for the bettors right now, the Army is the better team in piling up wins lately, but I just think given the history, given where it's played, I'm grabbing the free points with Navy right now, especially if he gets up to a field goal. I love Navy's chances in this game. Maybe even a little bit of a money line play there for me to get some of that plus money.
I'm really looking at that money line. I think Navy's going to win. win. I think Navy's going to cover.
Let's
and
go.
For some reason it has to go over, doesn't it? 27.5. They got to be. They can do that.
Exactly.
These guys, come on.
Yep. Nope. I love the plus 130 money line for Navy and over 27.5. That's only 4 touchdowns. I believe that the Sparks are going to fly a little bit here.
Yeah.
Couple broken runs here and there. Get these guys a couple touchdowns each, and we're sitting pretty with that over.
I love my country and I love my college football. Give me some Navy.
Let's give me the Navy. Let's go. Plus 3 points, I believe, is a very good bet for Navy.
I do too. All right, should we move on over to the hardwood?
Let's do it.
The court. We're talking Saturday for a 1 o'clock tip-off on FS2. That's going to be Central Michigan heading on over to Omaha to take on the 10th ranked Creighton Blue Jays. And my goodness, I think a lot of folks across the state of Nebraska got a pretty good look at the Creighton Blue Jays and what some local talent brings to the table as well.
They for sure did, Andy, and everybody was up for it. Tickets to the game were over $100 for nosebleeds over there in Lincoln.
Creighton versus Nebraska.
Yep. Last Sunday. Creighton blew him out of the water, 89-60.
Yeah.
And who you were alluding to is Mr. Baylor Shireman.
Yeah.
Pouring in 24 points, 10 rebounds, 3 assists. The guy was everywhere, getting the crowd into it, even in Lincoln. A little smack talk here and there. This guy is not scared of anybody, any bright light. This guy is the absolute man for Creighton this year, and he'll shoot it from anywhere.
Yeah, he will. The first couple in the first half, I think he knocked down six 3-pointers, and some of those were DM like, what are you doing? Oh, yeah, swish. Okay. Yeah,
swish.
That looked good. Yeah, good play.
It was a very good game for Creighton, especially to get everybody was, on the Big Red bandwagon saying that they're undefeated, all this kind of stuff. And everybody was also talking about Creighton dropping that very, very bad loss to Colorado State.
Yeah,
and it just happens in college basketball. Yeah. It just happens in college basketball. Sometimes it's not your night, especially if you are a 3-point shooting team. Sometimes it doesn't bounce your way.
That's what happened.
Losing a really bad one to Colorado State, I believe this kind of made up for it. Yeah. Got them back on the right track. And then when you go into the CHI Health Center on a Saturday to Creighton, this Central Michigan team is about to be blown out of the water.
They are.
I don't have much hope for Central Michigan, especially when as high as Creighton is riding right now.
Creighton might not have been able to play a better game than the game they played against Nebraska.
For sure.
All the stars, all the studs lined up.
Yep.
Kalkbrenner had 13 points. You also had Trey Alexander with 13 points. And you also had Steven Ashworth, the guard that they plucked out of Utah, had a really nice game, shooting the ball from beyond the perimeter, much as Baylor Shireman was doing everything. Yeah. And he was having a lot of fun, talking a little smack out there.
That's what he does, man.
That's what he does.
When he starts doing that, you know that he's in his rhythm. You know he's got his head in the game.
Yep.
When he gets quiet, that's when you gotta look at him a little bit and say, okay, where's this guy at?
So, come on now.
No, love Baylor, love the Creighton Jades this year. They're gonna make a run at it. I do believe
they really are, and you see why they're ranked 10th in the nation.
No doubt about it.
And they're probably gonna climb a couple spots here.
I agree.
Sitting at 7-1 right now. Nebraska drops to 7-2.
Yes.
All right, well, let's talk about those Huskers.
Let's do it.
They're getting back on the saddle again. I think that was a song or something.
Yeah.
They're going to host Michigan State. That's going to be on BTN Sunday afternoon, a 5:30 tip-off. Oh, boy. A lot of predictors have Nebraska actually protecting home court and pulling off a victory here.
Yeah, no, ESPN Analytics have us having a 56.2% chance to win this game.
When's that been wrong?
Yeah, when's that been wrong? But you kind of got to look at the Big Red, like you said, dropping its second game, not only to Creighton, but yesterday to the Minnesota Golden Gophers, winning by 15 points in the first half, Andy, and then really just letting the wheels come off, only scoring 26 points in the second half and losing to Minnesota by 11 points, 76-65.
Whoa. So they're up by 15 on Minnesota at halftime, and then they end up losing by 11.
By 11.
That's a collapse.
That is a collapse. Getting outscored 52-26 in the second half. All you have to do
is this going to be a trend? They only scored 23 in the second half of the Creighton Creighton game.
I hope it's not. I hope it's not because
what's going on here?
It's really bad, Andy, and you just got to look at the stat sheet to figure out what was going wrong with the Huskers. You got Casey Tamanaga with 4 points, went 0 for 4 from 3, 0 for 5 from the field, only making 4 free throws. When this guy doesn't score, the Big Red Machine is not going. The other guy that you got to look at is Mast, our big guy, only scoring 4 points again, only had 5 rebounds. That was a huge thing in this Minnesota game. They could not get a rebound. It happens every year, it seems like. I'm looking at Minnesota grabbing 13 offensive rebounds, and that's really what happens to the Big Red. So
that's why you brought Mast in. That's why you brought him in from the Missouri Valley.
Exactly. And against this Michigan State team, you're not going to be able to do that. They have 3 losses on the year, but 3 all-ranked teams. Losing to Duke by 9 points. She was ranked number 9 at the point. Arizona was ranked number 3 at the point, only lost by 6, and then they just lost to Wisconsin on Tuesday. They widened the gap a little bit with 13 points, but this is a very, very good team coming into Leakin, and you know why? Tyson Walker, number 2 guard there, putting in 20 points a game, Andy. You can just see it when he plays good opponents, like Wisconsin, he put in 22. Arizona, he put in 18. Duke, he put in 22. This guy can score the basketball, and I have to say that this is going to be Nebraska's focal point on the defensive end.
It's going to have to be, right?
Yeah.
And I did catch a little bit of that Arizona game with Michigan State, and I was pretty impressed with them.
For sure.
Arizona is now ranked number 1 in the nation.
Yeah.
And they hung in there, a couple plays here and there. That'll get you those 6 points.
Yeah.
But that's what, those great teams do, those top 5 teams do. They figure out a way to win all those scraps.
They do.
Like that. But it shows me that Michigan State isn't that far off.
They are not, Andy.
I know Wisconsin got them by 13.
Yep, by 13.
So that's, in today's game, that's not that big of a blowout.
No, it could have been 6 points right at the end, and then free throw shooting goes into that. But no, that is what I'm saying here, Andy. Our leading scorer, Casey Tamanaga, not putting in over 5 points in this past game. No. That is something that the Huskers cannot do. And like you said, with Mast, he's averaging 10 rebounds, only had 4 against Minnesota. It's not going to get easier with Michigan State.
And Michigan State always has those big fellas. Those rebounders, those grinders.
Yeah.
Your favorite guy in the NBA.
Draymond Green.
Those Draymond Green types. Just 6'9", 6'10".
Yep.
Just a banger inside. And Mast is going to have a big game because I like Tamanaga. There's an energy about him.
Yeah.
He really gets the Pinnacle Bank, the vault going when shots are going in. It's a lot of fun. But it's not as consistent as it probably
needs to be.
Exactly, and that's what you're looking at here with Tyson Walker, even A.J. Hogard, the 2 guard for Michigan State. He poured in 14 against Wisconsin. So I like those 2 guys the way that they can score in multiple ways, maybe at a more consistent rate than maybe our guys can.
For sure. I do believe this is probably a one-sided affair. I do believe the Spartans get into Nebraska here, and they might run it up on us, Andy. It hurts me to say that, but they have played top-tier competition already, and we have already seen what that does to Nebraska. We started off 7-0, but we were playing the likes of Cal State Fullerton, Dubuque, Oregon State, Stony Brook. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying is this team has already been through a gauntlet playing 3 ranked teams. Yeah. We've seen it with Nebraska playing 1 ranked team, losing by 30. I believe Michigan State ends the year in the top 25. Yeah. They're not losing this game. If Nebraska is sniffing any points here, go with Michigan State because this could get ugly.
All righty. Well, let's take it. You heard the horn, so that means we're up against it. But let's take a quick minute here to recognize one of our fabulous partners, and that is the Nebraska Brewing Company. I've been enjoying a cold beer.
Cold beer.
It's their new cream ale.
Yeah.
Pretty smooth.
It is very good. Love it.
World class in every glass. That's the Nebraska Brewing Company. Don't go anywhere. This is WTL. And welcome back, everybody, to WTL. Where's the line? I'm your host, Andy Klassen, joined by
Jabron.
Oh, the Parlay Pounder.
You got it.
And we're going to wrap up like we wrap up a lot of our shows. The NFL.
Prime time, baby.
Let's get right into it.
Let's do it.
Sunday night.
Yeah.
This really is a good one. I can't wait to see this one, and that's one of my favorite broadcasts usually of the week. I really like that crew over there on NBC.
Yeah.
7:20 kickoff. We got the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys 9-3. Eagles 10-2.
Yeah.
Eagles, oh boy, they kind of let us down a little bit.
They
didn't
did.
They let us down a little bit.
They did.
But Dallas, we're talking hits and misses. Dallas cashed for us.
Cash money.
Hey, say what you want about Dak and the boys. They've been doing pretty darn good this year.
They are, and he is odds-on favorite to win the MVP right now at plus 200.
I believe
so
it.
you can see how people are feeling about him, especially on the sports book, thinking he pretty much has this MVP locked up. If he has a big game here against Philadelphia, you can almost cash that, Andy.
His numbers bear that. He deserves it.
They do.
He really
and
does.
If he makes a big statement in this NFC East against the defending NFC team,
Hey,
this goes a long way.
When else are you going to do it?
Yep.
Prime time, at home.
Yep.
Philadelphia coming off a beating like that. You might have caught something on film. Dallas is a 3.5-point favorite.
Yeah.
You got that total. Got bet up to 52.
Yeah, Andy. And it felt like the Eagles were just kind of skating by with shaky play, injuries, and defense that was taking a step back. The Eagles, like you said, finally just broke everybody's heart and just lost in a blowout loss to the Niners.
Yeah.
You have Debo, you have Chris McCaffrey just running wild on you.
Oh, man.
Now they have to lick their wounds, go on the road, and play the red-hot Cowboys, like you just said.
Yeah.
And, I mean, this has to be the NFC East crown. This is the win-all game here. The Cowboys have had extra time to prepare for this one. Every team, I just believe the Cowboys rivalry here I really like the Cowboys here, Andy.
I do too. I think the Cowboys are going to win. I think the Cowboys are going to cover. And I'm probably looking at that over because that's what these two teams do in this type of a game.
Yeah.
And also, I'm looking up and down this Philadelphia injury list. I hate it. A lot of defensive players up and down this report here were the questionables with groins, hamstrings, at linebacker, defensive tackle. Also, a local boy, Cam Jurgens, on the IR with a foot injury.
Again.
Hate to see that.
Yep.
And they actually moved him in that starting role at guard because he was too good. They had to get him on the field.
Yep.
And he was doing well.
Doing well.
So, I mean, that just, once again, speaks to what Philadelphia is dealing with right now with these injuries.
Yeah, Andy. I don't so much like the spread with the VIG there at 3.5 is what I'm seeing it at.
Yep.
If you can get it at 3, I do like it a lot more, but I do believe at the end of the day the Dallas Cowboys win this by a touchdown. So I do like the Dallas Cowboys in this game, Andy.
Well, and a lot of folks are going with the under here. They're thinking, okay, you're talking about all these injuries, a couple on offense. I don't know. Dak is on a tear.
Yeah.
I mean, he's really impressed me this year.
It's very hard for me to back unders when there's so many superstars on the field. You got CeeDee Lamb, you got A.J. Brown, two of the best receivers going at it, both on the outside. I know that these defenses are somewhat, very good with their corners on the outside, but these are two of the best players in the entire NFL, and especially when you start talking about Dak and Mr. Hurts. So I would lean on the over just because that's what these two teams do, it seems like.
When you get in a couple of different fantasy leagues and you start seeing a lot of names over and over, I don't know what I ever did to CeeDee Lamb, but it seems like he beats me every week. Every week, this guy just piles on the points.
Has over 100 yards and 2 touchdowns, it seems like. Yeah,
what a jerk.
No, I agree with that, Andy. This has all the makings to be kind of a shootout kind of a game if the Eagles can keep up.
There you go. If the Eagles can keep up, and I'm not sure they can.
No.
Not in this scenario here. And usually, you know me, I'm not ever too high on Dallas, but I am for this one.
For this one, I am, and it's pretty crazy with an NFC East showdown.
Yeah,
that it's
pretty cool.
We don't think it's going to be that close of a game, but give me the Cowboys by a touchdown.
There we go. All right, should we talk about a historic Monday night coming up here? For whatever reasons, we're going to have 2 Monday night games simultaneously owned by the same company. I mean, everybody's piling on Disney Corporation. It's low fruit, easy punch and bag, all that stuff. But this is a blunder in my mind where you own ESPN, you own ABC, you get 2 Monday night games, and you're going to put them in the same time slots. Split the audience.
Split it.
And then you think, well, why are they hemorrhaging money? Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah,
Who
knows?
Well, let's start with let's start with the ABC game. That's at 7:15. That's going to be Green Bay taking on the New York Giants. The Giants are a 6.5-point dog.
Yeah.
I'm looking at some sevens now on a few books here. A full touchdown underdog at home.
Yeah, Andy, if you can get it at 6.5, do it now towards the Cheeseheads. I love the Packers. I think this is one of my locks of the week, Andy. This is going in my parlay. I was tempted by the Giants as a home dog, as New York's been, I guess you could say, playing well, while the Packers could be in for a letdown after the big win against the Chiefs. However, the Packers are just a far better team, Andy. More trustworthy team, and are still in the mix for the playoff spots coming into this week. The Giants are in the mix as well, I guess you could say, but I have to think Green Bay keeps it going for another week here. Give me Green Bay with the points. I love the way Jordan Love's playing right now. He is coming into his own, and I do not have any respect for this New York Giants team right now.
They've won 2 in a row.
Yep.
Then
Good for them.
I know what you're going to say. It was Washington is New England.
Yep.
They still scored. Oh, well. They scored 10 points.
Yep.
They scored 10 points.
I've watched the Green Bay Packers the last 2 weeks very diligently, beating the Super Bowl champions and then beating the Chargers. Both games,
that was a really
Jordan
good game.
Love looked very good in it. The bright lights weren't too big for him. It seems like he's coming into his own as a quarterback, and that really, I think, really sucks for NFC North people because they were banking on this guy not being very good, and it seems he's above average.
Yeah, he's above average, but the whole book's not out on him
No,
yet.
it's not. No, it's not.
And I think you're a prisoner of the moment here because you were up in Green Bay.
Yep.
You were at Madison the day before for the college game.
Yep.
And then, that was a very fun, very impressive performance, but a lot of things broke
They did.
the way for Green Bay. Things like that tend to come around. And one of the places that always seems to get the breaks is the New York Giants at home.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bet them outright here for money line, but I do think they're going to cover this. There's so many different models and score predictors actually have New York winning this game, let alone dropping it. You're looking up and down like, well, who's their quarterback? Who's their running
Danny
right?
DeVito's son, Tommy DeVito.
Tommy DeVito. Yeah. So he might not be the tallest guy out there.
Hey, wise guy, Tommy DeVito's going to play.
Hey, Drew Brees should have squashed that. You don't need to be 6'5", 6'6" to be a quarterback in the NFL.
I hope not. Mine's way shorter than that.
So I don't know. I just at home Monday night, Giants, I think they can cover a touchdown.
Not going to happen.
Touchdown.
Not going to happen.
I'm not going to convince you. What about this total at 36?
Yeah, I believe that what you're saying, it probably should go over, is what you're saying.
Probably. I think so. Yes.
Okay.
I'll go over.
Yeah, you'll go over.
I'm going to lean towards the over.
I would lean towards the under, Andy. I believe that the New York Giants probably don't score over 7 points in this game.
What?
I believe that
they just scored 10 against one of the best defenses in the league.
And Packers are pretty good, and they have the best matchup in fantasy football this week. They're not going to score very many points. I love the Green Bay Packers to score 14-7. Green Bay.
Hey, they scored 31 points against Washington 2 weeks ago.
There you go. Everybody scores against Washington.
That's about it, though. They have a pretty terrible offense. All righty, should we move on to the final Monday night game?
Let's do it.
Over on the mothership, ESPN, the Tennessee Titans are heading down to Miami.
Welcome to Miami.
Where the Dolphins are a 13-point home favorite. That total is jacked up to 46.5.
Whoa, Andy.
Come on.
We're talking about Dak. With the MVP race and all that kind of stuff, and he's the clear favorite right now. Yeah. I do believe that people have looked away from Tua a little bit in this race because I do believe he should still be talking about it. What really, kind of triggers that is that everybody's saying, well, Tyreek should be in the MVP race as well, which he should be.
That's a really good problem for Miami.
It really is. And it's kind of the same thing with the San Francisco 49ers with Brock being up there so far and Christian McCaffrey right behind him. So it's kind of these tandem guys. But no, I'll stay with the Dolphins here, Andy. Miami is rolling right now, coming off another solid performance against who? The Washington Commanders.
Yep.
The Dolphins compiled 406 yards, 283 passing in that one, while holding the Commanders to just 245, only 107 passing yards and 11 first downs. So Miami has posted a combined 79 points with just allowing 28 over their last 2 games.
Yep.
These are video game numbers these guys are putting up, and it's just fun to see. I believe Tennessee is in for a juggernaut right here, and they're not going to be able to combat it with their rookie quarterback in very shoddy defense.
No way. We're in total agreement here. That's a nice way to wrap up the show, right? Miami, this line opened up at 11.5. It's been bet up to 13. Get in on it as soon as you can, but it doesn't matter. 14.5. They're going to win by a couple touchdowns here.
I believe so.
They are averaging 31 points per game. Are these Dolphins? The Titans on the other side, they're averaging 16 points per game.
Yeah.
Just terrible.
Yep.
Just terrible. So
dismal.
I like Miami each and every single way here. Real quick, that total, 46.5?
Yeah, 46.5. You got to believe that Miami's pushing this up. I do believe it probably gets there because Miami's going to score 30 by themselves.
Yep.
If they can get Derrick Henry on the 1-yard line or Spears or anybody from the Tennessee Titans to push one in for you, I believe this over does get it.
I like that. All right, Mr. Parlay Pounder.
Yeah.
You got a parlay play.
I do, and it's 3 games that we have. Oh, just 2 things that we've already talked about, and then I'm throwing one in.
Okay.
So I'm starting this one off. It's a 3-teamer. I got Mitch Trubisky with those rushing yards on Thursday night, starting it out on Thursday, bringing it all the way to Monday. I love doing that. Love spreading this parlay throughout the week. So Mitch Trubisky over 13.5 rushing yards. Then I got this game, Houston versus the New York Jets. I'm taking Houston. I love the way Houston's playing right now. The Jets don't even know who's going to start in quarterback right now. Just the money line for Houston. And then I'm ending it with that game we just disagreed on. I got the Green Bay Packers winning by 6.5 on Monday night. I'm putting $25 on this to win 106.
Hey, I like the payout there. I like the payout there, and you got to risk it, You got
to risk it for the biscuit.
Hey, and you got Mr. Biscuit playing in this parlay, so
you do.
There's some symmetry there.
There's some symmetry. I'm betting against both New York teams at home. So couple road teams got to do it for me. But Trubisky, Houston Texans, and Green Bay by 6.5. I believe this is going to hit. Let's see it.
Let's see it. Let's do it. Well, that'll about do it for us this week. Be sure to follow us on ESPN Tri-City Radio on their Facebook page, our Twitter handle. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Having a lot of fun producing feature-length content.
Yeah.
And also on YouTube Music, their new podcasting platform. That continues to grow and grow. And then those YouTube Shorts, getting some traction on those as well. You also got the TikTok, right?
You got it. TikTok games before primetime games in the NFL. Usually, head on to TikTok to see what I'm on for those games.
Boom, daily free picks.
Let's go.
For Jabron, the Parlay Pounder, I'm Andy Klassen. Thank you for listening. This has been WTL.